RatPigs go squeak oink.
Squeak oink YouTube. Welcome to Panthero's Garage. Today we're going to be doing paint correction. So before I get started, I just want to go over some of the stuff I'm doing and why I'm doing paint correction. If you guys saw the Meet the Thunder Tank video, you know how bad the paint is on this car. This is the second coat of paint. The original coat of paint had the typical 80s bad clear coat where it just fell off by itself. I took it in the mid-90s to a dealership in Jacksonville, Florida, and they repainted the whole car. So it already has 2 coats of paint on it. Therefore, I'm going to get it painted again nicely at some point in the future, so I'm not super sensitive to the fact that I might screw this up when I try to do the paint correction. It's bad. If I make it better, great. If I make it worse, oh well. So that's kind of my stance on it. I just want to bring you guys along for the ride. I'm going to quickly go over what I chose to use. I'm not a detailing expert. There's plenty of those guys on YouTube. Go watch them. I'll link some videos below that I watched that really kind of gave me the push to go ahead and do this myself. I think they're really informative. And you guys should watch those. Watch a bunch of other ones and see if you want to do this yourself and if you want to do what you want to use. Don't go what I'm using, because you don't know if it's going to work yet. First thing we're going to do is, the car's already been washed, but it's been sitting here for a while under the cover. So we're going to spot clean it. I've got just some basically Dawn dishwashing liquid and some water here that we'll use to kind of spray on. I've got a bucket of clean water over there. We'll spot clean an area, work it, and move around like that. First thing we're going to do is we do a clay bar. I'm using Meguiar's kit here. They use their quick detailing product as their clay bar lubricant. But again, this is going to put down some waxes and polymers onto the paint, some oils. So after we do the clay bar, we're going to have to go back again and clean it up, make sure we get all of that stuff off before I do our compounding. For the compounding, I'm going to use Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. This stuff's designed for amateurs to keep you out of trouble, so it's very non-aggressive. I'm also going to use a Girot's orange pad to do the initial compounding. After that, we're going to come back and use a red pad and Meguiar's Ultimate Polish to do a polish. And I may or may not even do this. If the compound and the orange pad comes up and looks good and I don't think it's hazy and we need to do an additional step, I'll skip the polishing part and just go straight to putting on the wax. For the wax, we're going to use a finish pad, black finish pad, and Ultimate Liquid Wax. I know the hot new thing nowadays are those silicone sealants that everyone's putting on, but I don't know anything about them. I've never used them. Don't think the car is worth spending the money on it right now. You know, for something like that, the paint's going to look better, but it ain't going to look great. So I'm just going to stick with good old-fashioned wax. I got a Girot's 6-inch orbital polisher. Again, you can pick those up at pretty much any AutoZone, Advance Auto, O'Reilly, stuff like that. It's not professional. I'm not a professional. If you're not a mechanic, you don't need Snap-on tools. If you're not a professional detailer, you don't need an expensive polisher. So it works fine for what I need it to do. We have a big bag of microfiber towels and some paint, some painter's tape. So how this is going to work is I'm going to basically block off a 24 by 24 inch area. We're going to do that first, do all the steps, maybe even apply the polish to that just to see what the final product's going to look like. And then you guys can see that, and we'll peel the tape off and you can see how it looks compared to the part we haven't done. But I'm probably not going to wax the whole car. I'm going to compound it, but it has a lot of paint chips in it, and I think I want to go back and try to touch up some of those paint chips before I end up doing this. With that, let's get the stuff off the hood and get started. Alright, so we got the cover off, and you can really see how bad the paint is. I'll try to get it close to this camera and get you guys a better view of exactly what we're working with here. So if I shine this light on here, and if I can get this thing to focus, so hang on. There we go. Okay, so you can see right now we got a lot of defects, pits, scraps, swirls, and dust. So we're going to, I ran my fingerprint across it. Oh my God, he touched it without lubricant. Oh my God. Um, we're going to go ahead, clean it up, and we'll do our clay bar, and then we'll see how it looks after that. Focus. Focus. There you go. See that hazing? Definitely couldn't see that before we did the clay bar. So you can see a lot of the surface swirls are gone, but some of the deeper scratches are still there. And that's kind of what I expected. Again, this is not a very aggressive compound. So like that deep scratch right there. is still there. And all the poop, bird poop acid stains are still there. But it definitely looks a lot better. Focus. That's the paint corrected side. That's the non-paint corrected side. Okay, so even that's a good shot of, you know, 2 bird poop burn-ins. One that we done, I guess, yeah, one that we ran the paint correction on, and one that we didn't. You can see that there's a really does a pretty decent job of making it less visible. And that's basically it. I'm going to go on and finish the rest of the car. I'll film some of it, and you know, if I think it needs to be included into the video, I will. And you guys should see it soon. Okay guys, I just want to give you a quick update. It's later on the next day. I completely finished the hood, as you can see. I decided not to go back and do all the paint correction. It seemed kind of a Sisyphean endeavor. So I went ahead and waxed it, and I just want to give you guys a update on some of the products and what I thought of them. The compound with the orange pad works fantastic. I have no problems with it. It's really good. The Meguiar's clay bar kit always leaves a haze. I would never use that on paint that I wasn't going to follow up with some sort of a polish. Just so you're aware, I was not really happy with it at all. My understanding after watching YouTube videos is that you should be able to clay your car without having to come back and do a polish on it. But the Meguiar's kit, that doesn't seem to be the case. I've had that issue on 2 cars that I've used it on now. The polish, I decided not to use the polish. What I was getting with the just the compound and the orange pad was fine. And I really didn't need it. There was one point where I think I went a little heavy when I was doing it, and it left a little bit of swirl, and I did come back with the polish and buff that out. But overall I decided not to use it. And one of the reasons I decided not to use it is it's hard to get it off the paint. After I had done buffed out some of the haze that I had left behind when I was a little over aggressive with the compounding, it seemed like it itself was leaving a haze. And it wasn't until I accidentally kind of like ran my finger over it and the residue came up that I realized it's not the paint, there's residue polish on it. So I squirted a little bit of the Meguiar's detailer on it and it came right up. So I'm not a big fan of the polish. I think you can use it if you need to. I would use it in a case where I got over aggressive with the compound and left the haze. I'll come back and do it, but just be aware that it's hard to get the residue off the card. Maybe I'm not applying it correctly. Maybe I'm going too long. Maybe I'm putting too much pressure on it. I'm not trying to use any pressure on it at all, but just let the orbital polisher do the work. But that's my input on that. All right, one more thing. Doing a flat surface with an orbital polisher is easy. I think any of you guys that want to do it can probably do it and be happy with the results. Doing the front bumper, which is got too many nooks and crannies to use that orbital polisher on, is hard. It sucked. I had to do it all by hand and the results aren't very good, and you really come to appreciate the mechanical efficiency of the orbital polisher when you have to do it by hand. So just a heads up, doing the flat panels is easy. Doing the rounded panels a lot more difficult. Again, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and you guys have a good day.
Cats love rat pigs.